Hey guys, so I wanted to show you how to use up some of your old vegetables that you froze out of the garden. This is zucchini. I have whole tomatoes, dehydrated celery. This is cutting celery, not normal crunching celery. This is an herb instead of a vegetable. I have dehydrated carrots, dehydrated onions. And this is what my vegetable drink looks like. It tastes exactly like V8 juice that comes from the store. It's clearer. It's not red because it's not made out of tomato paste. It's the actual juice from a tomato, which doesn't look like that thick red stuff. So this is John's V8, and you can see that it's really red and thick. And the reason for that is it's made out of a concentrate. It's made out of tomato paste, and it's something you could legitimately do. But what I like to do is I don't like to really can my food. I prefer to keep it frozen or dehydrated and then cook it. So this is my pot, and I just dump things in. These tomatoes were not ripe when they came out of the garden. They were green, and I ripened them on newspaper on a shelf in the kitchen, and then I just put them in baggies and I freeze them, and I don't blanch them. I don't do anything like that. I just pop them out for soups. And my new favorite thing, which is this juice. So take my cutting celery, put it in. It's the celery that gives V8 its distinctive kind of vegetable taste. It's not even necessarily the tomatoes. The tomatoes add acidity, and the celery is what adds your flavor. Now, in order to make it heartier, I add zucchini. It doesn't add any real flavor, but it adds bulk to the juice. And if I'm making a soup, I will leave all this in. Because I'm making a juice, I strain out all of the solids when I'm finished, and I cook this all day. So it takes actually quite a bit of salt, more than you would think, but it's quite a bit of salt. And then I have my onions. I also have frozen onions in little jars in the freezer. But I really like dehydrated onions. I dehydrate these either in the top of the wood stove or outside in a hanging air dryer. I have to be careful about when I dehydrate these. If I do them in the house during a really cold spell, it can get really rank of onions in here. So I try to avoid doing it in the oven. If I have to, I will. I just put them on the warming rack inside the warming oven. That's where I put it. I don't cook them, I just dry them gently. And then this is kimchi pepper. I bought seeds for this so that I can grow my own, because this is actually not really expensive, but sometimes it can be hard to get the right one. This is delicious on everything. It's not too hot, it's super flavorful. It's like a slightly spicy bell pepper. They're so good. I don't put this in until this is finished at the end of the day. I put this in as I turn the heat off, and I just sprinkle it into what tastes good to me. And then here's my carrots. The dehydrator that I use is I think it's the Natural Harvest one. And with carrots and onions, it doesn't take very much. We live in a very dry climate, and so I actually have these without a lid, and they don't mold. They're just in my cupboard. A word to the wise, anything you dehydrate like this is going to take a very long time to reconstitute. They're going to be chewy and not fun to eat unless they have a very long cook time. Or if you soak them overnight, if you soak them in cold water overnight and then put them into your soup the next morning for cooking, drain the water off, that kind of thing. That's how you use them. Because it's going to simmer all day, I need to watch and just add water as it needs water. What I'll do is I will store a quart jar or two of this in the fridge, and then if I need to make a really fast soup lunch, I will use this as part of the base. I have tried it with bone broth, which I'll show you what the bone broth looks like. I have combined it with my bone broth that I canned, and it's okay. I don't really like them combined. And I have to tell you, this feels so good on your stomach. If you have an upset stomach and you just want to be sipping liquids all day, this is so, so good. You have the acidity, you have the vegetables, you have the salt, and I've had some issues with my digestion lately where I've had to bring in a lot of kimchi and a lot of kombucha, and this has been the other thing that I've been drinking a lot. If you want to make this at home and you don't have frozen vegetables in your freezer, you can use tomato paste and some celery salt. Pretty much just the tomato and the celery that you taste in V8. So tomato paste, celery salt, just reconstitute this until it's the thickness that you like, and then you can just drink it like that. So this is my fresh Chinese cutting celery. It's really nice and big and beautiful. I could cut this and then come again and start using it fresh as I run out of celery in my freezer. And this has been going for a few weeks, and you can see it was super easy. I just have a gallon jug with some potting soil in it. Once the hotbed is hot, I can take this out to the hotbed and transplant it into the hotbed, and it will get enormous, and it's so fun because it's so abundant. But it's happy to be in the house too, and I don't have a grow light on it, I just have it in the window. Make sure to go check out my hotbed videos. All of these, let's see, these beautiful plants will be going into it within the next week. As the hotbed warms up and cools down, everything here will be transplanted out to the hotbed, and it is February, and I will show you the weather we have outside today. Oh, it stopped snowing. Well, it was snowing previously, and it's supposed to get down to 2 degrees this week. We got baby goats due and lots of cold weather for them to show up in. But we're still planting the garden. It is in a greenhouse, but it would function fine if it wasn't in a greenhouse. It's the hotbed that makes it work. So there we go. They're good. Are they out of the hotbed?
Yep.
Cool.
And so are the beans.
Nice. Are you gonna let him out or no?
I had him out, but he started eating eggs, so I put him back in.
Well, why were there eggs on the ground? Looks like our ducks have been here